So let's go back to like as far as wholesaling, right?
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to start
Yeah.
in the wholesale business, how do you feel like they should go about starting? Or what would be like the first steps for them to get into it?
That's a great question. Anybody who wants to get started in wholesaling real estate, the best thing you can do is go outside and look at houses in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Literally. Everybody who goes home every day, driving past hundreds, if not thousands of houses, there's a check sitting in your neighborhood. There's a check sitting in your neighborhood. It's funny. I got this young guy that I'm coaching. I just got off the phone with him not too long ago. I told him the same thing. He found his first wholesale deal. It was $10,000. He's 24. In his city.
In his city.
In his little small town in Tennessee. Because there's people going through things everywhere. And when I say that is, wholesaling is really designed to find houses that are in distress.
Okay.
And what I mean by distress is the property may be vacant. It may have too many repairs that need to be done.
Okay.
Somebody may have just died and it's vacant. They may be going through pre-foreclosure.
Okay.
You know, it can be a tenant just tore the property up. They just moved and tore the property up.
Okay.
And the property owner doesn't want to deal with it no more. It can be 100 different situations
Okay.
on why a property is in distress. And the key is to find those properties and then find the property owner and to make offers on those properties and get them under contract. And
Okay.
because these properties are in distress and they have issues going on with them, it's easier to get them at a low price.
Got it.
It's
Okay.
called wholesaling, meaning that if you go to the store and you buy a box of cereal for $3,
Okay.
well, Kroger didn't pay $3 for that box of cereal.
Right.
They paid $1 for it. They just sold it to you for $3.
Okay.
So the whole point is you get this house under contract at a low price and you turn around and sell it to an investor who's going to flip it
Got it.
at a higher price.
Okay.
So you have to be able to find the deals, but then you have to negotiate the deals.
Okay.
In the beginning of this podcast, I told you about my sales career.
Yep.
So I have this, I would say, Dragon Ball.
What?
Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I had this secret weapon.
Okay, got you. Okay, I see
Right?
what you're saying.
I came into wholesaling with a secret weapon, which is I know how to sell. I came in, I wasn't afraid to make offers on people's houses. I was making offers on houses if I had $10 million to spend. Now, at first, in the beginning, it wasn't working, but as I learned the business and my skill increased, that's how I was making offers as if I had $10 million to spend.
Got it.
So the biggest thing for a new person looking at this business is there's a check in your neighborhood. And if it's not your immediate neighborhood, it's the next one or the next one.
Okay.
But it's within a 15-minute drive.
So let's just say, I go in my neighborhood and I find a property 2 blocks down. They have a sign that's saying it's for sale. That's what I'm looking for sale?
No, you're looking for properties that have signs of distress. Signs of distress means
Got it.
tall grass.
Okay.
If you go by a property and the grass is tall, that means somebody hasn't what?
They haven't lived in there? They
haven't
maintained
been there.
it?
They're not
anything?
maintaining it. The grass is tall.
Okay.
If you go by a property and you see chip paint and it just looks like it's been destroyed,
Okay.
that's signs of distress. If you see a property that has tarps on the roof, that's signs of distress.
Okay.
If you go into a neighborhood and you see a house that has a whole bunch of broken down cars in the driveway,
Yeah.
see that all the time, right?
Yeah.
That's signs of distress.
Okay.
Now, you also got properties that have distress that you would never know because the house looks normal.
Right.
but there's something going on the inside that you would never know about.
Okay.
Which is the person that just passed away. But the family members are just keeping the yard clean.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
We run by those all the time.
Okay.
And the key to this business and the key to really get to the point to where you're making life-changing money is consistency. Like, you have to do it consistently.
So consistently with like contacting, looking for places, contacting buyers. Okay.
Consistently looking for more properties.
Okay.
Because the more properties you look for, you're going to find more property owners that are in distress. The more property owners that are in distress, you can make more offers on those properties. The more offers you make, the more contracts you get. The more contracts you get, the more properties you sell. The more properties you sell, the more checks you get. And you do that all the way to the bank.
Law of averages. Gotcha.
That's it.
Okay. So where would be other places? Like I'm trying to give them the game without giving them all of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, where would other places is besides like going through the city? Should I look on like Zillow?
So yeah, there's platforms and websites out there.
Okay.
That an individual can use to be able to speed up, I would say, the process.
Okay.
So there's websites out there, that you can pull a big list of properties.
Okay.
In a county.
Okay.
Right? We're in here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So this is Douglas County.
Yep.
You can go online. You can pull a list of Douglas County. And you can do something called skip tracing. Skip tracing is where you pull all these records. Mm-hmm. And then the records will have the property owner. But skip tracing will allow you to put that list of property owners into a platform to where it spits out all the phone numbers of those property owners.
Nice.
So now I got this big list of all these people, of all these properties in this county, and now I have their phone number. And a person may ask, well, what do I do next? You call them.
Pick up the phone. I seen that.
You call them.
Pick up the phone.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You pick up the phone and you call them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. That's how I broke into this industry.
Okay.
Was I would sit in my living room on a dialer with a headset similar to this for about 8 hours a day.
Really? Wow.
And I would just dial. And I'm just talking to people. And what started to happen was, because I was talking to so many people, I started to find people who wanted to sell.
Okay.
And I did that day after day, week after week, month after month. So when I tell the story of how do you go from zero to in 6 months at $100,000 a month? Well, if I've been dialing consistently for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, that means I'm getting better. That means after 6 months, I found all these people every month. So I want you to imagine, I'm finding 1 to 2 people a day, and I'm dialing 6 days a week for 6 months. How many people is that?
1 to 2 people a day?
1 to 2 people a day, 6 days a week. That's 2 times 6. That's 12. 12 times 4, 4 weeks in a month. That's what? That's 48. 48 times 6.
A lot.
A lot of people. So in the 6th month, I found 3 to 4 to 5 people. And closed that month.
I see what
and
you're
each
saying.
check was 30 to 50 G's.
Jeez. I see what you're saying now.
I didn't do a lot. I wasn't closing all these deals.
Right.
I was just closing maybe 2 to 4 deals a month that were spreads of 30 to 50,000 a piece. And it's crazy. I learned this from my own mentor. When I used to go to those old meetings back in the day, he used to pass around this booklet. And this booklet, I'll never forget, he had his checks from 2001 when he first started out in his business.
He kept them.
And he kept the checks.
Dang.
And the booklet was about this big. And I never forget, man, him showing it to me, and I'm going through the booklet, and the checks started out at, $100. $10. $300. $500. And as I'm going through the checks, and as it goes, it's 2001, and it goes to 2002, and it goes to 2003, and by the time I was in 2004, the checks were at $200,000 to $300,000 per check.
Golly.
I have that same booklet. I have the booklet to where I did my first few deals.
Oh my God.
And as you turn the page and go into 2021, you see the first small checks, and then you see 30, 50, 40, 60, 40, 60, 50, 30, 25, 40. And this is month after month after month, and it goes into 2022. It's the same thing. And I'm not doing a lot of deals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this huge team. It's just that I'm consistently doing the basics in the business, and those simple actions are creating big results.
Mm.
This is why I always talk about the business of wholesaling, because, man, anybody can get into this business with nothing, zero. I mean, and you can transform your life like you wouldn't believe.